Hi, thought I'd give you a little glimpse into what I do when I'm creating a new piece. This is a hair fork that I'm designing and I'm sort of playing with it as I go along, meaning there's no pattern I'm following or tutorial. So there were lots of mistakes made and lots of lessons learned. Here I am actually trying to fix a mistake where I had completed the weaving on the second side and forgot to add the purl in the middle. And so I had to go back and try to figure out how to add the purl without looking it too obvious. And it was kind of difficult at that point because I had made the weaving really tight. So it was kind of snug trying to get that little wire through a place where it looked inconspicuous, where the purl looked, where it was sitting correctly, and looked like I had not forgotten to add it in the first place. So once I figured out how to add that second purl, I'm going to tie off the wire, tuck in the ends, break it so that it doesn't poke out. And when I'm done that, I'm going to add the next set of beads to the other side of that first loop. So I already had the wire in place that I was going to use. It was a continuing wire from another section. And I'm just going to thread it through where I need it to be while I kill that fly that was driving me crazy and crawling around for some reason. So I'm just going to wrap that wire several times until it's anchored and in the correct position for me to add those beads. As soon as I get it where I want it, I start adding my beads to the wire. I'm using Amazonite, two different kinds of Amazonite, regular Amazonite and Russian Amazonite. That's the darker green squares or rectangles you see. It has a beautiful color. And then I'm using these little antique copper beads that I just got. I've kind of been using them on not everything, but on a lot of things because I think they look really cute. So I'm just going to wrap that around and secure those beads to that base wire. I used a 12 gauge base wire. It's been hammered and shaped. And here I'm just going to fiddle with this wire, trying to tuck it into that bead and really make sure it's secure. I don't want these tiny wires to come loose and poke, get caught in hair, because this is a hair fork and that would hurt when you're pulling it out, getting it caught in your hair. And also it could scratch you when you're putting it in or handling it, and I don't want that. So a lot of times I will file down the ends, tuck them in as best as I can. I'll even, like here, tuck it in back into a bead to really secure that so it doesn't come apart. And then later on I may patina this piece, and if I choose to patina this piece, it needs to be able to handle the steel wool that I use to polish it, polish off the patina. And you don't want those little wires sticking out because it will catch and come unraveled and look really bad. So I'm just going to use my pliers here to tuck that wire in really well. And then if you see, I will wiggle the pliers back and forth. That work hardens the wire, heats it up basically, and breaks the wire off, which is a much closer break than I could get with my cutting pliers. It's also just more fun. And when I'm done with this whole piece, or when I'm done with this adding the last beads here, I'm going to hammer out, cut off those forks, shape them, hammer them a bit more, file the ends really well, and polish it up, and then I will have my completed piece. In a second that I completely decided to reposition the pearl in the center and redo it, and I think it came out much better. I wanted it to kind of look like it's floating, but that wasn't working, so I did something else. And here's the finished hair fork. I kind of love how it turned out.